Washington Commanders free agency is already getting kicked off 5 days before the legal tampering period begun. A familiar face for Cliff Kingsbury's air raid offense. We have signed former three-time Pro Bowler, tight end, Zach Ertz, former Eagle, former Cardinal. We're not going to count that shit that happened in Detroit last year as an emergency tight end on their playoff roster. Zach Ertz is now a Washington Commander on a 1-year, $5 million deal. I believe it's like an incentive-based, incentive-laden deal where bonuses and stat production are going to determine how much he actually gets paid of that $5 million. But let's get it. Let's get it. All off season, I've been saying we need to upgrade the tight end position. And not only once, we need to double dip at the tight end position. My whole plan was get me a veteran and get me a rookie to be groomed by the veteran, because nothing on our current tight end roster moves me. None of it moves the needle for me. John Bates does not move the needle for me. Cole Turner no longer moves the needle for me. Amari Rodgers is a great story, but coming off an Achilles tear as an undrafted guy does not move the needle for me. Zach Ertz is your day one starter at tight end. Why? Because he's a grizzled vet in this league, former Super Bowl champion, 46 touchdowns, 7,000 yards in his career. And in Cliff Kingsbury's offense before getting injured, he was absolutely rolling when he was healthy. And the 21 games he played in Cliff Kingsbury's offense in Arizona, he had 103 catches for 980 yards and 7 touchdowns. JP Finley says staying healthy is a big part of it, but I'm sure the contract is mostly incentive-based, but I like the move. I love the move. And are we going to go throw a parade for this signing? No, but this is a good signing. This is a good start to free agency. That's one thing checked off the list. We have a starting tight end now. And don't get it twisted, he's starting. Because even injury riddled and older, he's 33 going on his 34-year-old season, 11th season in the league. He's going to walk in day one and be better than Logan Thomas. Zach Ertz has more to him than Logan Thomas always has. Back to Stanford, back to Philadelphia, Arizona, and now. I don't know what happened with him last year. I guess he was banged up most of the year, wasn't on a roster, ended up going on Detroit's roster as like an emergency tight end in a playoff situation. But I can't stress the importance of signing guys with familiarity with the system. Zach Ertz knows the offense. He's going to be like an assistant tight ends coach for whatever rookie or young guy we put on the roster behind him. So let's say we draft a JT Sanders, a Ben Sinnott, a Dallin Holker, a Cade Stover in the mid to early rounds in the draft. Say we get one of those guys. We have the perfect teacher to show him the ropes to the NFL. I'm here for it. I'm excited that we're getting the ball rolling on things. You know, certain guys that aren't on rosters and that were released earlier times, they're able to sign before the tampering period starts. That's why guys like Zach Ertz can be signed right now. Guys like Russell Wilson, not interested in him, but just using him for an example. You don't have to wait till that tampering period begins. But the Sharks are swimming now. The Sharks are circling the NFL waters, because when that tampering period gets started, shit gets real and shit moves fast. But let's be totally honest. Tampering started at the combine last week. Legal tampering starts next week, but let's call it what it is. They were already discussing deals, trades, and talking to agents about specific free agents in Indy. They be tampering out there's some chatty patties in Indianapolis at that scouting combine. That's why as soon as the tampering period starts, there are deals that are done at 2:01, 2:04, 2:07. 5 minutes after the tampering period starts, a contract got done. You mean to tell me they met with clients and got a whole contract hashed out within 5 to 7 minutes? Absolutely not. Tampering happens all the time. The whole point of it is don't be like the Miami Dolphins and get caught on a boat with Tom Brady when you're not supposed to be talking to him. Everybody tampers. It's a part of the game. It's a part of gamesmanship. But the real teams don't get caught doing it. But Washington has come away with its starting tight end for the 2024 season. Let's hope health stays on his side. I think he's an upgrade, even at his elder statesman age at this league. I'm excited to see Zach Ertz get to work in Washington. Like I said, when he played for KLIFF Kingsbury in Arizona in 21 games, he put up 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. It looked like a fit. Clearly, he was a culture fit. Clearly, he still believes in what KLIFF Kingsbury does. And clearly, we have a plan for him because we reached out and got this done before free agency started next week. There was a clear reason for it. Last year, he only had 27 catches for 187 yards and a touchdown. Shit, that feels like what our tight ends had last year. And Arizona had the absolute dreck of quarterbacks in the league last year. I'm looking at his career stats right now, man. This guy's played a lot of football, 151 games in his career, 709 catches. We remember him very well for what he used to do in Philadelphia. I remember that season in 2018 where Zach Ertz had 116 catches for 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. Absolutely Travis Kelce baller type shit. That was a whole 6 years ago. This is not the same 26-year-old stud all-pro tight end that he was then, but he's serviceable enough to be the Band-Aid starter and mentor to our young guys, the guys that are on the roster, and most importantly, the guys that I assume we're going to draft another tight end in the draft. Adam Peters is not stupid. He sees how inactive that position has been for Washington for quite some time, and I trust the judgment of the guys with roster management going forward. I'm excited. We don't know who's throwing him passes yet. All signs point to it being a young guy. And as we draw closer to the draft, every day we get 1.5 million contradicting reports about who the favorite at number 2 is. And what that signifies to me is that Adam Peters and them are keeping it all close to the vest. Ron would probably have already told people who we were drafting at number 2 because that's just the way that guy operates. But it appears that we're not going to find out who this team is drafting at number 2 until draft night. That's how it should be. That's how it needs to be. And that's how real businesses operate. In silence. Nobody knew anything of this Zach Ertz thing until today. Peter Schrager put it out a couple hours ago, and then boom, deal is done. Even though this is not like a high priority, big budget free agent, it's nice to know that Adam Peters and company are calculated and aggressive, and when they want to get something done, they get it done. This is the first legit signing of the Adam Peters era, and the ball is now rolling for Washington to sign some players and start spending some of this league-high $92 million in cap space. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Adam Peters, Lance Newmark, Dan Quinn and company. I'm excited to see the plan in action. I want to see how we attack free agency because while I don't think we're going to Dan Snyder and Vinny Serrato this shit up and try to put every player available in the jet and lock them in it until they sign a contract, I do think we're going to be somewhat active. I think we're going to have a list of guys and we're going to do our due diligence in trying to get them signed. We're not going to be desperate offering blank checks to guys who are not worthy of it, or offering big bags to people that are past their prime, because Dan Snyder would have gave Zach Ertz $12 million a year right now. You know, like the same $12 million Dalton Schultz just got from Houston. We didn't do that. He got a 1-year, $5 million deal, and that $5 million, I guarantee, is not guaranteed. So I'm with it. I like it. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Zach Ertz is your starting tight end going into 2024, and I imagine Washington is going to pair him with another addition in the NFL draft in 2024. There's quite a few guys in this class. I listed a few earlier. I like JT Sanders from Texas, Ben Sinnott from Kansas State. I know that's my guy, Josh Taylor's guy. Dallin Holker from Colorado State. That's Jalen's guy. He sees him as a Kittle type player. Cade Stover from Ohio State. There's quite a few tight ends in this draft. Jaheim Bell from Florida, whose measurables and athletic testing has been off the chart so far. Quite a few guys. Oh, Theo Johnson from Penn State, because you know Penn State is just the ultimate workout warrior school. It's like they train these guys specifically for the combine, because even the dudes who don't flash on tape, they come to Indy and light it the fuck up. I don't know what they got going on in Ann Arbor, but there's something in the water down there. Welcome to the Washington Commanders, Zach Ertz. Julie Ertz, come on down to DC. He gets to reunite with former offensive coordinator KLIFF Kingsbury, who was his head coach in Arizona. We got a guy, and one of two of my tight end plan is done now. We got the vet guy. Now get the rookie, because what's on the roster does not move me as far as developing for the future. So we got the top guy for now on a 1-year deal. Let's go get us a rook to pair with him, and let's roll into this free agency offseason period. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. If any more news comes out, I'm here to break it immediately. Deuces.